This is the value of wrestling, the revolutionary force in wrestling podcasting.
Gentlemen, we have finally made it to a live of the Break It Down show right here on the Value Wrestling YouTube channel. You know me, it is me, the Big Tyme, and I'm here with another episode of Break It Down along with my partner right here. If you'll give me 1 second, there we go. The one, the only. Oh, it's Clarke. Oh, yes, you know. And then, of course, our other man helping us out tonight, our New Japan Pro Wrestling expert, none other than
Miguel Z.
There we go. And ladies and gentlemen, we're here, we're live, we're doing this to the best of our ability. We're glad that you're here. I'm a little blue, I can see that now, but that's okay. Maybe I need to readjust this light here just a hair. I hate all these lights. There we go. We'll be blue. But everybody's here. We're doing our thing. We're looking good. We're looking sharp. It looks like everything is up and running. And if you're here, thank you for being here. If you're here but not a subscriber, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Make sure you follow that with a bell, or ringing that bell and notification. We can see the chat tonight, or at least I can see the chat tonight. I don't know if my brothers are following along on their own other devices, but we have the chat up. And so if you have something you want to add, you can definitely jump in here. But ladies and gentlemen, my roundtable experts here. This is Break It Down. Break It Down is our roundtable show where we discuss different things, and this is our second episode, and this one's going to be about today's releases. Huge news in the world of professional wrestling. Lots of shakeups, lots of things going down. Gentlemen, how do you feel after today about what happened?
Where do you even begin?
I woke up to a couple of them, and I was like, okay, not so bad, not so bad. And now they're starting to pick apart mid-carders. That's where I was like, all right, something isn't right.
Well, it was definitely waking up to breaking news. I mean, last night we were going to sleep with news of Moxley and Adam Cole being injured. That's what we were looking into last night when we were in studio trying to get all that information up and figure out what was going on with their injuries. And then we wake up to WWE releases. And of course, not a big shocker. We knew that with the merger. We've been waiting for days kind of to see what was going down, how it was going to play out. We knew releases were coming after the merger between UFC and WWE. TKO coming live. Okay. Damn it. Things going down in real-time life. That happens. Throws you off for a second. Anyways, so we knew the releases were coming. We knew something. We just didn't know when. And, of course, we woke up today, and we started hearing names. And it went in all day, off and on. They kept popping up. So I think we'll start with the lesser-known names just because we don't know who these people may have been. You guys may know these names, but we'll go over some of the lower-end names. Well, I don't even want to say lower-name names. Again, I said this earlier, we here at the Value Wrestling do not like to hear anybody getting released or released from their job. We hope that everybody that was released today is able to continue on to whatever they want to do. We do wish them, from us to them, the best in their future endeavors, whether it's continuing pro wrestling or finding some other outlet in life to do what they do. And, you know, we wish them all the best. We're not here to put anybody down. We're not here to blame anybody for what happened. We knew there was going to be releases. Some of these were... They definitely took you back for a second. Other ones were kind of like, okay, these make sense. But we just want to make sure you all know that we're not here to put anybody down or, gloat or, be excited, because I don't think any of us are really excited for anybody who was released today. Now, we may be excited for some of them and what they will have to do in the future. So, Anyways, one name coming out late in the day, towards the end, was Alexis Gray. Alexis Gray was released. I believe she did not make any debut on NXT TV, but was in the NXT arena and was expected to debut at some point. So Alexis Gray was one of the names released today. Brooklyn Barlow, another name that was pre-NXT, not somewhere between the Performance Center and NXT, not necessarily an on-air talent. But Brooklyn Barlow was released today by WWE. Kevin Ventura Cortez was released by WWE, an NXT developmental talent. I do not know if he actually got on TV yet, but was released. Daniel MacArthur, another talent from NXT that I don't know if actually made on airtime yet, but was released today. This one was Hosland. It's a Julia Lin. I don't know. I'm not good at all these names, so please forgive me if I butchered your name and you catch this. I am sorry. We are doing the best. Another talent that had not made air but was in NXT. Now getting into some more of the names that we may start knowing. For anybody watching NXT, Quincy Elliott was released today. Quincy Elliott. And if I say a name and you gentlemen want to add 2 cents, just pipe on in and, you definitely can get in there. Quincy Elliott was on NXT TV, but was released today. Bryson Montana was released today. NXT talent. Don't know a whole lot. Can't give you a whole lot of details. And so those are some of the lower end names. Also coming off what I guess would be an NXT star these days would have been Dana Brooks. Dana Brooks was released by WWE. I forget. She has been there for a long, long time. She was a lot on the main roster. She just went over to NXT, I think, to refreshen her character, but that doesn't seem to happen. Dana Brooks is gone. Gentlemen, Dana Brooks. Expectations?
That's a bloody shame.
That's a heavy hitter. Great character. Multiple time 24/7 champ before they got rid of it too.
Yep. At least once off the top of my head. I don't know about multiple times, but I do remember at least the one good run.
I don't know. The 24/7 title was one of the biggest strokes WWE ever did to move, but yeah. Anyways, Dana Brooks, I think
just her gone. That was a heavy because, like you said, she went to NXT to refresh her character. It looked like she was starting to make wave of making her a more aggressive competitor.
Mm-hmm.
And
like I said, she's been in the company a long time, so it is definitely a shocker to hear her name hit this list. But we wish her the best in future endeavors. I don't know what she does. I don't know if we see her in another wrestling realm. If I were to place her anywhere, it would probably be an Impact type of wrestling. I think that would probably be the best benefit for her going forward. Agree, disagree, arguments against, any comments?
She is a former bodybuilder, so she could go back to that too as well.
Definitely could go
I
do
like
that.
Impact for her, but I also kind of like the idea of her maybe going to Stardom or someplace where she can show that aggressiveness.
Yeah. Well, hopefully it works out for her. We'll see what happens. But Dana Brooks was released today. What about Dabba-Kato? Dabba-Kato. I hate that name. Also known as
I understand.
Also known as what was his name for Apollo Crews?
General Sneeze or
Aziz.
Aziz.
There you go.
General Aziz for a while there. He was also one of the big names that was used on Raw Underground and that thing, whatever you want to call it. I think
ripoff.
I think he had some talent there. I don't think we ever really got to see what he was capable of. Again, I think this is another talent that would probably be very suited for an Impact Wrestling, or somewhere within the independent, or even maybe in New Japan. Maybe New Japan could take him and make him something. AEW, I just don't feel he's a bigger guy. They don't know how to book bigger guys. It seems like I just don't know if AEW would be the right move for him right now.
No, they need to. He needs to go somewhere where he needs to go away. Period. He needs to go where they can treat him like a giant, showcase him like a giant, let him work like a giant. So
Mhm.
New Japan would be the way to go, or Noah. Noah would be another place too to send them.
So overseas for
Armand.
Dabakato.
Yes.
Alrighty. From there, we'll talk about the tag team that was released today. Everybody's heartbroken. Everybody's sad. Everybody's disappointed that Maximum Male Models. I know you, my buddy over here, were big fans of Maximum Male Models, but the Maximum Male Models of, I'm not going to say their Maximum Male Models names. It was Mason Mansoor. If you want to be Masu, I mean, say whatever. I'm not trying to get in there, but both Mason and Mansoor were released today.
Marseille.
Marseille, yes, Mensa. Mansoor, I don't know. I guess you could say Impact, maybe an independent scene. He's never really going to amount to more than what I think we really saw. There wasn't much there. Maybe if he gets some development and gets something there. As far as Mace is another big guy. He could probably benefit in Impact. Maybe even Japan, where he can hone his craft a little better and maybe become something of a more vicious character. He was in Retribution for a little bit. He looked more menacing there than anything else they did with him, but that is where we are.
Well, he was a commentator at one point, I believe, too.
Yes.
Yes, he was until he
did
was
some raw
attacked
commentary.
wasn't he somebody thrown into him by Brock Lesnar? Wasn't that the kicker there?
Yeah.
So,
fun fact: Mansoor is a Hood Slam alum, so
Okay.
he is from Northern Cali. He could definitely come back to do some indies before he tries to go somewhere else to hone that craft.
it'll definitely be interesting to see what happens with both of them. Mace, I'd be interested in seeing if he can do something. Mansoor, I don't think I ever really got into. He was just kind of a guy that they picked up from India when they were trying to do their India, or no, I don't know if he's from India, but over there in the Middle East when they were trying to make their splash. Actually, more when they started this Crown Jewel stuff. So we'll see what happens with him. Mace, I think, has a whole lot more to him. We just got to see it get defined. And then released today, everybody's favorite dancing machine, the Dancing Freak, from I don't know if he was from the same place as Giant. At the same place as Kali. I don't know if he was from Pujai. But yes, the great dancing freak, Shanky. Shanky will no longer be dancing on our TVs. I know you gentlemen are severely disappointed. Shanky is gone. I have no clue where you could take Shanky. I'd be scared that he would wind up in AEW and be thrown into the Jeff Jarrett stable of misfit toys.
Shut up now. Don't
give him any ideas.
there. Exactly.
Well, Satab Singh might need a tag partner.
Great Khali, doesn't he have a promotion out in India?
Yes, he does. Kali does have a promotion out there, and that's where he needs to go. Do not give Tony Khan any ideas right now, because he could be watching us, taking notes.
And Shanky will be dancing with Leatherneck and Satam Singh and Sanjay Dutt on your next AEW Rampage sometime in 90 days, because everybody who was released today, as far as I understand, is under a 90-day no compete clause. So maybe the New Year's event, we will see Shanky dancing on AEW TV.
Happy New Year!
So, anyways, Shanky released. We wish him his best in his future endeavors. Aaliyah released, which was they had her on the main roster. She is a former WWE Women's Tag Champion. And now she is gone. I think there was something they could have done with her there, but they really didn't do much in the sense of doing anything.
No, they couldn't do anything with her, because I watched at one point NXT had a backstage show that they were doing, and this is her third reboot.
Yeah.
So there isn't much they could do with her. So
I don't know if she can go anywhere and do anything. She might be better behind a mic as a interviewer type of personality. Maybe she goes somewhere else into a different sports or a whole different arena, or she just disappears from the public eye and becomes private life and does something different. I don't know where she really goes or what she does. She may be able to go into the world of TV, movies, something like that. She could probably pick up some small roles. She's definitely a very beautiful younger woman, and I definitely think she could do something like that if she wanted to. She'd probably get into some type of modeling. It just depends on what she wants to do.
Yep.
So
Not much more to
Aaliyah,
add to that.
Aaliyah was released today, and everybody was heartbroken and cried because Hit Row is no longer a trio. Top Dada Dada has been canned. There is no more Top Dada Dada in the WWE. What does this mean for the future of Hit Row? We don't know, but Dada Dada is now been released. Will he still appear on WWE's? I forget what the name of the show is on A&E, where they go around finding old wrestling gear and wrestling
Hidden
memorabilia.
treasures.
Yes, hidden treasures. Will he still be a host or a special guest on that? I don't know. I enjoyed him on that. Never really got him over in the ring. He could probably do something, and definitely could go on to Independence and do something. He might be able to get in and do some stuff on Impact. I don't know if a wrestling career for him long term is the thing that's going to be top dollar. Gentlemen,
He could end up in AEW with Swerve.
and do what? Yeah,
Just stand there or fall over. I mean, there
he
isn't much you
doesn't.
can
He
do with
doesn't
him.
fit that embassy. Hello, Callie. We are doing a live show. Thank you for joining us. He's just going to be a back. I don't know. I guess to make
he
Swerve
can
looks. I guess if you put him next
He's
to
a muscle.
who? Top dollar, be the muscle. Really? Did you just say that?
I'm throwing a bone here. I'm trying to help Tony out. Okay.
I mean, the only thing he could do is help make Swerve look smaller, because Swerve to me looks like he's getting a little bloated and chunky. So I mean, he does not look like Swerve that originally came in AEW. Doesn't look like the Swerve that we had in WWE. So I mean, I don't know. Top Dollar is good entertainment. Maybe he can go become a comedian. I don't know. I just he never did it for me in wrestling. And no offense. I mean, he seems like a decent person. He's definitely gone out there and tried, but he just never really got over and made me feel anything. And Hit Row really has never done anything for me. If he could get down in AEW and get some type of developmental character that changes him into something that can be taken seriously, maybe. Otherwise, I think we're going to see him relinquish to the independent scene. Maybe he gets picked up on Impact. Maybe he gets a tryout with AEW, and we see him on Dark or Rampage or a
Dark doesn't
one-time
exist
pop.
anymore.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the Dark's gone. See you later. He'll end up a Ring of Honor.
That's the wrestling show. That ain't happening. Even Tony Khan is not that silly.
Are you sure about that?
Have you
Did
seen
not
his
see,
notebook?
Did you not see Tony Khan out there after Moxley's been
No, I haven't. I've heard
concussed
about it,
out
but I
there
haven't had a chance to
dancing?
actually see the video.
He was out there
No, really?
dancing like a dancing fool.
Like Daniel Garcia, as I understand it.
Yes, him and Daniel Garcia were dancing on the stage at Grand Slam. Yes, it happened. Sad news. Anyways, moving on from Top Dada. Hit Row is done. Let's talk about Rick Boogs. Ladies and gentlemen, Rick Boogs was released today.
Oh, man.
The guitar man for Shinsuke Nakamura. This man had something. He just was never booked right, never really given a chance to grow. This is a man that I could definitely see going to New Japan Pro Wrestling and getting over. Anywhere else, I think he gets lost in the shuffle in AEW. Impact, he could probably be there and get a little bit of a pop, but I think long term, to hone his craft, Rick Boogs needs to go to New Japan Pro Wrestling, and we may see Rick Boogs on the rebound in WWE if he does that, or we may see him on AEW as a New Japan Pro Wrestling star. Rick Boogs, gentlemen.
Here's my argument for Rick Boogs. First of all, get rid of the silliness that WWE creative had for him, as far as the way out there 80s style wild man thing.
No. Let him keep the 80s look. It looked great. It worked for him.
The look was fine. It was the character.
It's how he acted.
Yes. If he's allowed to become, even if he uses some comedy, but if he's allowed to become more of a serious character like in New Japan, the way they build their characters. Again, like Brad was saying, like BT was saying, if he goes to AEW through New Japan or whatever the case, he's got a much better shot at becoming a superstar because he's got the tools, he's got the charisma. He just, in my opinion, had bad
Yeah,
creative
look better.
and a bad character.
Well, bad creative is the story of W since who knows when. But yeah,
Fair.
or go to Noah. Noah would be a good one too. Noah is a good place to send some of these guys where they can definitely hone their craft and find out who they really are before they move on somewhere else.
I'm familiar with the name Noah. I've never actually watched their content, so I don't know what it's about. Like, I've watched more New Japan clips and shows. That's the only reason probably why I don't talk about Noah.
Yeah, no, the last thing I talked about Noah was Muda's final match. And I haven't followed it since, but Muda actually owns and runs Pro Wrestling Noah, so I could see a lot of these guys heading that
Okay.
way.
All right. Well, let's looking down the line here. Let's talk about the one, the only, the drifter himself, Elias. Not only that, Elias broke the hearts of thousands of people today. Millions around the world were heartbroken today when Elias went to X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it. Who knows? Came out and thanked for his time and his journey in WWE and officially broke the news that Kevin Owens was right. Elias was Ezekiel, and Ezekiel was Elias. So Elias was trying to fool us all, and I know for many he got us all tricked up as he portrayed his quote unquote younger brother Ezekiel and did such a wonderful job at that. But Elias has been released from WWE. I do not think he is going to continue in the world of professional wrestling. It seems like he has found a newer path in life. A lot of things he's been tweeting out. He's found God in some form or another, and very, very happy about that. Very vocal, and I think his journey may change. I don't know if he'll go into music, but I don't know if he will continue in any type of wrestling capacity. If he is, probably Impact. I don't think he would really make it in AEW. I don't know if Tony Khan would know what to do with him necessarily any better than what WWE did with him. I loved Elias. There was great opportunity there. They just kept dropping the ball when they started getting him going. And so now Elias, which we had already heard rumors that Elias wasn't working under a contract. This seemed more like his contract just kind of was at an end or was up, or I don't know. They just let him officially go today. So, gentlemen, your thoughts on Elias?
I'm heartbroken that he broke the news of his brother Ezekiel.
I know.
I actually like the Ultimate Warrior look.
The Ultimate Warrior
Can
ripoff.
someone
Yes.
please explain to me why that was news? Like, people literally, everyone, doesn't matter if it was a fan, doesn't matter if it was a podcaster, everyone actually act like that was actually newsworthy. That Elias admitted to being
I think it was because the storyline and the fact of the matter that Kevin Owens pushed it so long, and the whole storyline they built.
got it over.
I think, yeah, it got over, and I think it was just everybody's reporting on it because it's a good chuckle in the fact of releases and people being let go from doing what they do. I think it was a great lighthearted moment that people were taking this and this kind of, as much as I did, is running with it as kind of a kayfabe. We all get a chance to get in on it now because we all get to report, oh my gosh, Ezekiel was really Elias this whole time. He shaved his beard off. He dressed up like the Ultimate Warrior and called himself Ezekiel. So, yes.
I'm actually. It's a little sad that they let Elias go because he was. It was more of like a start-stop push because for a minute there he was starting to get over, winning over the fans, and then he would disappear for weeks on end.
Yeah.
So best of luck to him. He might not wrestle anymore. If he goes with music, from what I've heard, he's really good at that. So
we
good
shall
luck to
see.
him.
We shall see what happens. I wish him the best in future endeavors. But recently, from things I've seen on Twitter and I think it's Instagram, I think he's going to move out of the world of professional wrestling. Cat.
I got that. I know. The thing is, there's a lot of money being left on the table with Ezekiel. Excuse me, with Elias.
Ezekiel?
Maybe with Ezekiel too. I meant Elias, but maybe with his ego too, because he was getting over as that character as well.
I just like the fact that he looked like Ultimate Warrior. I was really enjoying it.
So I mean, it is to me a little kind of sad to see that he was let go. There's a lot of potential, a lot they could have done with him, and that still could happen if he does wind up staying in professional wrestling. That's
we shall
all in his hands.
see. We shall see. All right, moving along. The newly engaged couple, the couple of Emma and Riddick Moss, have both been released from WWE. Recently announced that they got engaged, and now they're both out of a job, which sucks. But I think both of these will be fine. I think you could definitely see Emma back at Impact. She could make her place in AEW. I don't know. They got to kind of get the women's wrestling over on AEW kind of squared away before I think they bring in any big names to add to that. It's kind of they've been giving us a lot of women's wrestling, but it's still kind of up in the air. I think Emma would benefit from being on Impact. And the same with Moss. I think Moss right now would be better in Impact. I think he'd get lost in the shuffle on AEW. Not to say that either of these wouldn't be able to do something on AEW or get into AEW in the future. But I think right now they could go to Impact. They could go to Impact as a couple. They could definitely make plays down in Impact Wrestling. Or they could go overseas to New Japan or Noah or any of those places. And I think Riddick Moss could really get over there. Emma could be there for, show and have fun. We could see, what is it? Tenille Dashwood?
Yeah, Tenille Dashwood.
Yeah. And maybe a Mercedes Moné facing off in New Japan or something. Who knows? You never know.
I'd pay to see that. That'd be a good one.
Maybe that's a wrestler.
Here's a random one.
Go ahead.
Here's a random one off Miguel for you. Have Riddick Moss go to Rev Pro.
Oh. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
See what him and Ospreay can do together in the ring.
Oh, man, that's money. That's money. That if nothing else happens to Ospreay, let's just leave it at that after what we've been seeing.
Fair.
So Miguel, what if I told you that Will Ospreay is about to become a free agent, and WWE has a lot of money to spend in
No,
WWE
no, don't do it.
In Will Ospreay.
No, don't do it. Don't do it, Will.
Ospreay,
don't go there.
Ospreay to WWE confirmed. Yes,
I was waiting for that one. Damn. They will mess his character up so much. I understand the money.
But you don't know that yet. You don't know that because we don't know who's going to be in charge because other rumors, Vince may be pushed back out of WWE again. Big rumors breaking. We're still digging into that story, but
how much more money did they account for? Did they know yet?
There's not more money. It's the fact of the matter that there is a federal investigation going on, and many of the people in the background are complaining that the way Vince came back in, took over power, is complaining. And if you really want to dive down into the nitty-gritty of things, let's get through this list, and I'll talk about maybe the conspiracy theory about maybe somebody's throwing Vince under the bus and trying to push him out. Maybe somebody on Vince's team is trying to take him out to get him out of the business. But we'll get to that. Sorry. Let's get through this before we start getting into that news, because that's a whole nother subject. But Riddick Moss, Emma, I think they have a lot of options. I think they'll be okay. They will bounce back. They will do just fine. All right. As I'm looking at the list, it looks like we're down to the final three. Probably the three largest names on this roster, most well-known. Shelton Benjamin has been released from WWE. They haven't done anything with him in a while. I think this is the second time he's been released from the company. Yeah. Shelton Benjamin has had a long 10-year career from its original stint as Team Angle, teaming up with Charlie Haas. They had a great run. Shelton Benjamin trained and worked with Brock Lesnar. They went to Minnesota together. They did an NCAA run together. Long history with Shelton Benjamin. Shelton Benjamin, at this point, I don't know what you do with him. He could become many great things. He could turn, if he's thinking it's time to end the wrestling career, He could definitely be a great agent, a great talent in the back scenes if he's going to continue his career. I would say Impact or New Japan. I'm sure he could fit into AEW in some ways, but I don't know if there's any benefit to him going to AEW if he wants to really like do something. Impact, I think, would be great for him. New Japan Pro Wrestling, I think he might get more over there. Gentlemen,
There's one place. There's only one company that should be focused on Shelton Benjamin. New Japan Pro Wrestling. I need to see him in the Tokyo Dome.
At least once.
I think
Please
that's
give us
probably the
that.
best place if he wants to continue. I take this
Right.
into consideration. He's a little older. He's been around for many years. Is he ready to say,
All right.
"Am I
But
done?"
he
Is
looks
it-
like $1 million. I mean,
Oh,
look
he's
at the
always
man.
looked like
he
$1
doesn't
million
look like he's aged.
No, he's always looked like $1 million. But at the same time, there comes a point where you have to decide: is it worth continuing? Signing another deal for so many times, or is it better to do spot appearances?
Please,
Maybe he
wrestling
becomes a
gods,
road
just one
agent.
time in the Tokyo Dome.
So we'll see. So
That's
Shelton
all I'm
Benjamin.
saying is. That's all I'm saying is. I want to see at least. I know everyone wants to have their one WrestleMania match. Needs a Tokyo Dome match.
Just
Well,
one.
we shall see what happens with Shelton Benjamin going in the future.
Question is though, Paul, real quick, who would the opponent be?
There's many good possibilities. The first one, because I was thinking about this earlier. One to me would be Naito.
Oh yes, or Okada.
Respect.
Shelton Benjamin at Wrestle Dreams versus Kenny Omega.
Yeah, I'll take that too. I'll definitely take that one.
Well, we will see what happens with Shelton Benjamin going forward. Now, for a name that I think a lot of people are upset about, he had been being pushed in NXT, really getting going. We thought they were going to finally do something impressive with him. But finally, Mustafa Ali has been released from WWE. Mustafa Ali is no longer under WWE contract, which is totally bizarre. After this man has asked for his release, was told,
All right.
and now it's like, okay, you can go. Mustafa Ali, I say Impact all the way. Him in the X division, I think not only that, he could be a world champion in Impact Wrestling with all the talent he has. I think he gets lost a little bit with all the other high flyers in NXT or AEW right now. I think he could really showcase his talent and Impact. Not to say he couldn't be on AEW in the future, but I think Mustafa Ali is definitely a target for Impact. Or, I mean, he's another one of those guys who go to New Japan Pro Wrestling, do the Cody Rhodes tour, make his name in a whole new light. Maybe Mustafa Ali is the next leader of the Bullet Club in some form or fashion. Just saying, he's got a lot of talent there. He was just never allowed to really show it.
You go to New Japan, he'd run that junior heavyweight division. Push him there.
There are ghosts
even
in the background.
That was mine. I'm sorry.
That's good. I don't care. It's just funny when they blur in and blur out. It's all
Right?
good. Life happens.
He's got homework. It's all good.
Even in Impact, though, if Rich Swann can be Impact World Champion, Mustafa Ali definitely can be Impact
look at the
World
guy.
Champion,
Look
let
at
alone
that.
X Division Champion.
Eddie Edwards, and his former tag partner. What about the Motor City Machine Guns? Wasn't Chris Sabin world champion?
He
Mhm.
was champion. Alex Shelley's present day champion.
So I
Mhm.
mean, all of them in the Impact put the title around. Mustafa Ali could definitely go into Impact. Not only be a leader of the X division, but could also get in there, entangle, and be a world champion. Mustafa Ali versus Moose, end of the year world title, maybe in Impact. That could be some great stuff.
Yeah.
And I finally actually got to see Moose wrestle live.
Moose.
That was
Moose.
a couple of years ago at a New Japan show, and him and Juice Robinson put on a hell of a match.
That's good.
Okay.
So, are we ready to talk about the big name on the list? The last name on the list. The only name that I will say is probably AEW bound if he's continuing in the world of professional wrestling. It's the only place that makes sense. Dolph Ziggler, better known as Nick Nemeth, who has a brother in AEW as Ryan Nemeth. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler was released. Part of this was the fact that I guess Dolph Ziggler's contract was up. His contract was coming to an end, and so they just kind of said, okay, we're not going to renew. We're going to let you go finally. Dolph Ziggler's asked for his release before, didn't get it. And that was released. Ryan Nemeth has already made huge push, plays, hints, whatever you want to call it, about Nick Nemeth coming over, Dolph Ziggler coming over to AEW. It's the only place I would see Dolph Ziggler going, because his brother's there that could give Ryan Nemeth something to do that's more serious than the garbage they've been feeding him. Maybe Ryan Nemeth could get over. Dolph Ziggler could, carry his brother for a little bit and get the rub. We can see Ryan Nemeth go forward. If Dolph Ziggler is going to stay in wrestling, I don't know if he's going to continue in comedy or some other ventures, but if anything, Dolph Ziggler is probably going to be the one that we're going to be hearing at the end of this year, beginning of this year, as Chavo. Anyways, if you know, you know. Oh no, that wasn't Chavo. That was Irwin. Yes, that was Irwin in the caddy. My bad. When Chavo was a white, what was supposed to be Kerwin White. When he was supposed to be a what is it? A white upper class golf person. Yes. Anywho, Dolph Ziggler, AEW bound. I'm sure we'll be there hearing at it at the end of the year, the beginning of the year. Yes, Dolph Ziggler would be great in New Japan Pro Wrestling. That would give him a whole new life. But I would say probably AEW's the best bet there. Oh, I think he could go.
He'll end up with his brother. That's pretty much where we're going at.
Ziggler could wind up anywhere and I think be huge. He could be in Impact. He could be Ring of Honor. He could be AEW. He could be New Japan Pro Wrestling. He could go anywhere and he's going to be a big player with a big name right away. Where is he going to go? I would probably put all the money on AEW. It makes sense. Again, he's a little older in age. He's a veteran. He may not look like he's that old, but he's put a lot of years in, so I don't know, what he wants to do. He maybe want to go over and help get his brother the rub and get his brother over and then call it quits. We shall see. So, Dolph Ziggler, gentlemen, any comments?
A little heartbroken for that one because I didn't see that one coming. Of all people.
I don't know if I'm heartbroken. I'm surprised, yes, but I don't know if I'm heartbroken because I think this is better for Dolph Ziggler. He gets to decide what he wants to do next and get something fresh and new. He was stagnant. He wasn't really being used in any way. He definitely got used to help Austin Theory and give Braun Breaker the rub. But other than that, Dolph Ziggler's just kind of been there. So I think he'll get a fresh start wherever he goes if he continues in wrestling. If not, then he gets to do something new and enjoy life.
He was like the Brooklyn Brawler of today's era, the way they were treating him a little bit.
If he was
enhancement talent.
If he was still Nikki.
God.
Why'd we go there? Wait.
Thank you, Spirit Squad.
If he was still Nikki of the Spirit Squad, then maybe. But anyways. Yeah, Dolph Ziggler. But yeah, these are the people that have been released today. Some were shockers, some were mind-blowing. We wish everybody the best in their future endeavors.
Good luck, folks.
But the releases, we're going to see some big stuff in the future. Is this a big blessing to Tony Khan, though? A lot of people reporting Tony Khan is in for the biggest ratings ploy, biggest superstar grab, that this was a great day for AEW, that WWE released all these talents. I look at this list and I go, I don't see many of these people that would benefit really being in AEW right now. I don't see many of these names that I would hope Tony Khan would jump up and down and run and get. Who would I say? A Dolph Ziggler, a Mustafa Ali, maybe a Rick Boogs, maybe Elias, Dana Brooks. If Tony Khan wanted to jump up and get these people, yeah, it's good, but I don't think it's like this landslide, major shift that's going to move the needle back to AEW. So, people are coming out of the woodwork just like, oh, this is a great day for AEW. I'm like, no, it's really not a great day for anybody. But, there's some names here that might be able to do something in AEW. But, again, AEW's heavily, that roster's already very heavy in itself. They don't use all the talent they have. And I don't know if Tony Khan knows what to do with this. And I'm more worried Tony Khan would pick out guys like a Top Dollar, a Shanky, maybe Mace. He'd look at these guys and be like, oh, haha, these guys were funny. I liked watching them. I want to have them make me laugh. He'd bring Rick Boogs back in as, the 80s metal guitarist and continue the stick in a different type of way. I don't know. I don't trust Tony with some of these names. He'd pick up
Elias and Rick Boogs and make them a tag team and give them both the old 80s gimmick.
And what would they do? Wrestle Chris Jericho in his Okay, Chris Jericho don't have any friends right now. He lost his last one
No, he does not.
at Grand Slam in a good swerve. I'll give Tony Khan that. He booked a good swerve. He actually made us think that Sami Guevara was going to stick by Jericho, and then Sammy Guevara supposedly joins the Don Callis family. So yeah, I'll give Tony Khan booking that right. But yeah, it'll be the Rock. It'll be a 3-way dance. It'll be Elias versus Rick Boogs versus Chris Jericho, and the Rockstar.
No, don't let him sing
3-way
again.
dance. Oh wait, no. That's what he'll do. Chris Jericho is going to have a new appreciation society. He's going to have the Fuzzy Appreciation Society with Rick Boogs and Elias. There you go. That's how that works out. Then they're going to go for the trios titles, and they'll beat the Acclaimed and Daddy Ass and become the new first night out too. They will appear for the first time ever together, and they will win the trios title. Oh my God, Miguel looks like he's about to die. Like he's like, I'm saying stuff off of the thin air, and this boy's over here getting like having a heart attack. Like no.
The sad thing is, bro, is you're right. That's the sad part.
I guess we should ask Tony Khan. Go ahead.
With everyone who believes like this is going to just shift to AEW and be a needle mover, did we not forget that we had something similar happen with TNA? Like when people get /Impact, when people get released, before there was an AEW, where was everyone allegedly supposed to go? We've seen this story before. Yeah. Just because even if they get the talent, does not mean it's going to be a needle mover.
No. It depends on how they do it and how they book it. I don't have faith in Tony Khan right now booking anybody new. I think the only thing he's going to have that's going to work for him is the only person on this list that I really feel can go to AEW and be fine and get over and run with it is going to be Dolph Ziggler. I mean, you could get a pop for a Mustafa Ali, a Shelton Benjamin, a Riddick Moss, a Elias. You could get a pop for these guys over there. But most of them, I can't say they would be able to get over. Mustafa Ali would get lost in the shuffle with all the other high-flying acts that they got over there. And again, I really am on the point that Tony Khan needs to get some control over all his high flyers because the rate of injuries in AEW is becoming significantly higher. Hint why is AEW a dangerous place to work, because we're constantly seeing injuries that don't need to happen. And so I think Mustafa, as much as he would be okay over there, I don't think he'd be like he is right now. He'd just be kind of lost in the shuffle. I think Impact is his place, if not New Japan Pro Wrestling. But Impact I think he'd become a star or world champion. It would not take long for Mustafa Ali, and Mustafa Ali would probably be able to have his real true character that he's been trying to portray or get out there in Impact more than anything. So,
I agree with that.
So. Yep. No, I don't think this is like this big thing. I don't get where everybody's getting this idea that this is AEW's payday. This is, that WWE.
I was gonna say, I haven't seen anything like that. I mean, have you seen it?
Oh, yeah. If you read through Facebook posts, if you read through any of the news articles on the lesser people, not necessarily your Sean Ross Sapps or your Dave Meltzers, but a lot of the other wrestling communities.
I don't read what Uncle Dave writes anyways. I can't.
A lot of people are out there saying that this is a big day, and I'm like, I don't see. Now, the names that I originally heard would have been bigger if a Tegan Knox had been released, had a Dakota Kai been released, had a Dexter been released, or not Dexter, or Dexter Loomis had been released. Yeah. If a Johnny Gargano, who was supposedly going to be released, a Tommaso Ciampa, who was supposedly going to be released, if any of those names, we may have been seeing a bigger shift. It's still, even if Edge goes,
there was even talks of what's her name, Ava Raine, the Rock's daughter.
Rock's daughter's not going to go anywhere.
That was one of the names I seen right off top was speculation of being released.
I think that's the people's speculation more than true internal speculation, because that's the Rock's daughter, and you got the Rock just to come back and pop. You're not going to let her go unless she's just absolutely horrible and can't do it. I mean, you got Nia Jax on WWE TV. You really going to let her go?
Go there.
And the fact of the matter, Nia Jax's family. So you wonder, I think Ava Raine's going to be fine. Why Nia Jax wasn't on this list?
Didn't she hurt another one?
Nia Jax hurt everybody. Rhea Ripley is injured with a something with her chest, bruising of her chest. Raquel Rodriguez was hurt. I think Chelsea Green was hurt. I think Shayna Baszler was hurt, all from Nia Jax being back. So everybody Nia Jax is pretty much was hurt in some form or another.
So that's how she's going to get her push. She's going to hurt everybody.
Well, she's just beating up everybody because that's what they think is going to do. And then she slaps everybody like a stupid fool. I don't get it. She needs to quit using the bonsai because she doesn't make it look good. She did a little better this last time. I will give her that. She held it on the ropes all the way down. But it doesn't look impressive. She does it, and you're just like, nah. And it doesn't. She doesn't look like a threat. She doesn't look scary. She just looks like a raging bully. You know, if they really wanted to book her right, they should have booked her like she wasn't even a star, like she hadn't even re-signed. Like they should have had her jump over the barrier in street clothes and beat everybody down. And then maybe we would have looked at it like, wait a minute, you know, they could at least kayfabe, made us look like she was trying to get a contract back and attacking everybody on her own volition, you know, doing the old Matt Hardy thing more than this. But hey, they decided to bring her back in
Matt
her
Hardy
same
was way
outlook.
better, and it was a little more personal.
Well, yes, but
Yeah.
that's the closest reference I had at the moment. So, anyways,
could have made the Scott Hall reference.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
No, that's too. That's too old school and was a whole different thing that set a whole different genre of wrestling into order. That shifted wrestling. That was a huge shift. To compare Nia Jax to that would be, I don't know. I'd have to go out and I would not be able to report wrestling news anymore on the YouTube because that.
Well,
would
that's
just be
like them
bad.
comparing her to Yoko, and that's just
No,
not right.
No. Oh, insane. Yeah, somebody's insane, but we're not doing that. Anyways, here's another great thing. You want another reference to throw back? There are people actually out there stating that AEW is the modern day attitude era of wrestling.
All right, I'm done for the day, guys. I can't. No, I gotta go.
I'm just saying, there are people actually out there stating that the AEW today is just the attitude era, ruthless aggression era of WWE, and I'm just like, oh my god, are these people really real? Are they insane, or are they just trolling for attention?
I think
I only got one question.
Go ahead.
One question. What are they smoking? That's what I want to know.
And why
They
aren't
ain't
they
getting it from
sharing?
me.
Oh, you didn't know?
I know what I've got, but they ain't getting it from me.
It must be that good shit. Damn. I'm an AEW fan. I'm just like, niggas, no.
Hey, Miguel, I got one for you. New big breaking news. WWE going after Will Ospreay, throwing big money at Will Ospreay.
You know what? You know what's gonna happen if they do sign him and he does go. I'm done. You won't hear from me for a while. I'll block everything and shut all feeds down for a week.
Yeah, sure. No, you got to be here, sir. You got to be here.
I know.
Anywho, so that's everybody who's been released. I mean, I hope everybody. We here at the Value Wrestling hope that each and every one of them. We wish them the best in their future endeavors and hope that they find what they need to do or where they want to go next and that it all works out. And hopefully some of these stars will be able to go out on the independent scene and do a Cody Rhodes, do a Drew McIntyre, and come back better. So is this a big move for AEW? I don't think so. I don't even think Adam Edge Copeland is going to be as big of a pool for AEW as everybody wants to sell that is. I mean, it could be a great pop. It'll be a great storyline, but I don't think it's long-term, doesn't do anything. Drew McIntyre going to AEW, possibly. Rumors of Sheamus' contract coming up and going to AEW because he wants to go re-team with his bar buddy and reform with Claudio Castagnoli. These could be big names, but these are also older stars that I think are running their time in WWE. I mean, how much more do you have for Sheamus to do in WWE, and how much more do you really have for Drew McIntyre? Of course, Drew McIntyre's got a little more going on. It looks like they're going to turn him heel. Hopefully that works. Hopefully he stays and we move forward. But you start hearing some of these names, and I'm like, what do they have left to necessarily offer in the big picture? I mean, how much more?
Here we go. I got one for you. How much longer can we go before we start calling AEW WCW?
Well, considering they're the spiritual successor from the beginning.
Hey, I'm just waiting for them to break out the purple and yellow, And then the 3-tier cage, the what was that?
Hey, I actually liked that one. That was good. The
Oh,
triple
I did
cage, that
too.
was a fun-
I love that type of match, but it was interesting. But yeah, okay. When AEW, oh God, here's one. You guys are gonna both hate me for this. When AEW does an electric steel cage chair match where you got to put somebody in an electric chair in the middle of the cage. By the way, Miguel, do you know who came up with that?
Poor Abby. Poor Abby.
Do you know who came up with that match, Miguel? Yes.
Mm.
Yes. Yes,
Mhm.
Daddy-o. It was me. I came up with the American dream, and then I came up with a beautiful match. We thought, you put somebody in an electric chair and flip that switch, and they just get lit up. It would be amazing right there on TV, Daddy-o.
Every time I watch old WCW stuff, I always run through Halloween Havoc, and I gotta watch the match where the cage had all the Halloween decorations catch on fire, just for shits and giggles.
Oh, what about the time RoboCop was in WCW helping out Sting?
Oh, let's not go there. I brought that up one time, and someone was like, "Why'd you do that?"
Spin the wheel, make the deal. The White Castle.
That one's
of
actually
Doom.
not bad because that they brought that back a few times.
And they brought that back in NXT a few times.
White Castle of Doom, yes. The Dungeon of Doom.
I thought it was the White Castle of Fear.
White Castle of Fear, maybe it was. It's been a while since we've seen all that. That
was Vader and Sting.
Yep. Well, gentlemen, anything else you want to talk about? Other than the big conspiracy theory we'll talk about. But you guys got anything you want to throw out there before we get to that? How's New Japan Pro Wrestling doing?
Other than the fact that we have a brand new Ring of Honor champ, I'm for it. Eddie Kingston.
How does New Japan Pro Wrestling have a new Ring of Honor champion? That would be more Ring of Honor and AEW.
That's what I'm wondering, because he is currently your strong champ. And like I said, I do not remember the last time he defended that belt. I honestly forgot that he was strong champion.
Well,
strong open weight.
I hear some people say that this is going to be the heights of glory for Eddie Kingston. This is his peak of a mountain. So I'm still waiting for
Eddie.
I'm still waiting for our other commentating announcer Jane AI Bot to make her opinion about how Tony Khan is going to push Eddie Kingston to the moon, and he's going to be the next AEW champion.
You got to talk sweet to her. She doesn't like us.
I talking sweet to her.
She don't like me, so.
Did you hear her valuable impression when she was talking about you, Big Tyme?
Nope.
Her last article on Vampiro.
Nope, I didn't watch that one.
He had some words for you.
I'll buy her some flowers. Maybe she'll, be a little nicer.
Okay. Anyway, so Vince McMahon may be on his way out of WWE. Vince McMahon may be gone again, and maybe permanently. Filing with the SEC. If you guys haven't seen that video, I wish I had that SEC article. Who booked this?
You think you know me?
Oh man!
I'm gonna drink a big glass of milk.
Oh God!
One more? Okay.
Only The Rock can get away with that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Let's throw a little dynamite. Alrighty. Oh boy.
It was funny. I have a notepad and a pen over here that I use for my own notes.
Yeah.
Can I be a booker too?
I'll call Tony Khan up. I'm sure he'll no wait. He's the ultimate booker, so it's his way or the highway.
Well, I'll go back to throwing boxes. It's okay.
Oh yeah, maybe he'll give you a job for a Ring of Honor.
Yeah, there you go.
He has a committee and all now.
Anyways, so the SEC filing comes out. You dig into it, and it actually has TKO stating that Vince McMahon could be an issue for TKO in their SEC filings, that they realized that the stuff that was going on with Vince McMahon could jeopardize the future of TKO, could be, something that is not good. And so there's a slight conspiracy theory that somebody was the one that, because how come all of a sudden did all this information about Vince McMahon come out? All the stuff that was years ago, we're talking about back to 2006 prior, all this stuff come out about Vince McMahon and all the dirty deeds and all this money that was probably supposed to be paid out. You have to really wonder who put this information out there, who threw it out there, how did it get out there, how did it magically appear? Is there somebody on the inside that's trying to sabotage Vince McMahon? Vince McMahon steps.
I love you.
No, Bruce Pritchard is not at all the one that would sell out Vince McMahon. That man is guaranteed. He was he was fighting hard because Bruce Pritchard. Triple H does not want Bruce Pritchard there. He's not a part of the Triple H team. Bruce Pritchard was just hanging in there for the time being, but Bruce Pritchard is definitely not. He needs Vince McMahon to stay relative and stay important in WWE. I think you need to look a little higher up the food chain. But so Vince McMahon leaves. He steps down, goes away, and then he decides that he wants power back. So he manipulates the situation, forces the board of directors to allow him back on the and he removes people or people step down from the position on the board to allow Vince McMahon to appoint new people since he was a majority shareholder. He owns 28.84 million stocks in TKO, and he is the only one that is allowed to sell them. There is no hold time, there is no lock time. Everybody else is, but special arrangements were made for Vince McMahon to be able to sell those immediately. So, with that being said, it looks like TKO maybe, or Vince McMahon maybe, both looking at a way to get Vince McMahon out if they need to get away from Vince McMahon. And with this SEC filing and the people that are digging this stuff up, it maybe look like somebody is trying to get Vince McMahon out of office. And I don't know. Maybe one day we will be cheering a con. And this con doesn't own a football team and doesn't own a wrestling company, but he's definitely a president. So rumors and speculation that maybe
Nicholas.
maybe Nick Khan is the one
Nicky?
that's undermining Vince McMahon. I mean, nothing heard. All of a sudden, Nick Khan's brought in as president. He's supposed to reshape, build WWE back up. And do all this great stuff that he's been doing that we don't see all the time, and maybe he found out all the truth about Vince, and now he's the one that's trying to take out
filming?
Vince.
I think he was filming the whole time this was going down.
I don't
He
know.
knows all this information.
I think it's interesting after all these years we see Vince McMahon not as it's not the Vince. Well, it's the Vince that we didn't think we knew. But anyways, I mean, all the stuff comes out. Now we look at Vince in a different way. He's been sabotaging everything. He is walking with the cane. He did go in and to this meeting and say that they had to sell the company because WWE had become stagnant. It had become flat, and the selling of the company was to revitalize, rebrand WWE, to get it moving into a new direction. This company is making more money than ever has in its entire life. Estimated after this deal, it's worth $9 billion now. Vince McMahon purchased it for $1 million back in the day, now worth $9 billion. And Vince McMahon wants to tell us that the company is stagnant in this meeting, that it's plateaued, that it needs new life and new venture. I think we may be rejoicing. I think we may be finally seeing the final nail in the coffin if this SEC filing goes through, if the federal government decides to proceed on whatever they're digging up. I think we are headed in a direction for something.
After we found out he is the old genetic jackhammer.
Yes.
I will tell.
All right. Live TV. Go ahead.
I can't even defend the man. I mean,
not at this point. Not
We
really.
wanted
I
a-
mean, I don't know what to say. I mean, I don't know why he would intentionally feel like he sabotaged WWE. because it felt like this is all he's done until he did step down and Triple H tried to turn around the corner, but we see him still coming in and trying to sabotage his company. I mean, it's kind of like we want to see. It's like Mr. McMahon when he brought in the NWO and he wanted to inject the poison into WWE. I don't know if he's like, I don't know. I don't know where Vince is. I don't know what his thought pattern is anymore. I know some people absolutely love the Vince McMahon and want Vince McMahon fully in power, and that Vince McMahon's going to have a better product than Triple H is. So I don't know.
This is the same man that even partnered up with old Johnny Ace. Like, I'm wondering when he's going to come back around with his 2 cents.
Did he
since all this is
partner up
going
with
on.
Johnny Ace, or did he just give the leftovers to Johnny Ace? From what it looks like, that Vince got bored with certain things and just passed them down the line.
No, he was buddy with Johnny Ace because Johnny Ace is the one that funded that whole Divas division.
Well, when Johnny Ace was his ass-kissing yes man, I mean, Johnny Ace lips are more brown than, well, more brown than a chocolate bar. But hey.
Yeah, there you go.
But Johnny Ace was just, he's a kiss up. He just said he was a yes man. He was just there. Vince took care of him. And we don't know. Maybe that had something to do with
Here you go, pal.
God.
maybe that had something to do with his brother too, but no, it would have been like, hey pal, I'm bored. I need something new. You want this used toy? So, yeah.
I was gonna say, I don't know
Hopefully.
if you have seen it, but I've seen it on and off. The Bellas still try to poke in product returns, but there's no one to back them up since Daddy's not there no more.
Nikki maybe, but I don't think Brie. I mean, maybe they want to have fun, but I mean, Brie seems to be happy doing her thing with Bryan Danielson. And if they were going to do anything, they'd probably appear on AEW TV more than WWE at this point, just because their stepdaddy was a dirty daddy, and I'm sure their mommy wouldn't want them having anything to do with her ex-husband. So, anywho. So, rumors are, some people are saying Nick Khan is the one that's trying to take out Vince McMahon. Maybe Triple H is, maybe something. It's just interesting that this all falls. And it seems like it's still being poked. Like, why is somebody looking into all this SEC stuff? Why is it leaking out? Who has the power and authority to get this going?
I mean, is there anybody else besides old Nikki that's doing it that we can think of?
Could Triple H be doing it? Could Stephanie have been the one that sold it out? I mean, there's.
I was gonna say it could be Triple H because didn't old Vinnie Mac destroy his baby?
Well, yeah, he did. He did crush it.
Crush it. Did we not?
He did crush NXT, the old black and gold, and turned it into rainbow bright, light bright. NXT 2.0 looked like a can of. It looked like that back in the day in the 90s. What was that bubble gum that came in a paint can that would turn your tongue colors? It looks like somebody chewed a bunch of that and then spat it on the wall. So, who knows? Is Vince McMahon going to be out? It may happen. We maybe see the final ending, the goodbye. Vince, you're out. Vince might just get to hear this from Ari Emanuel.
Yeah!
So, yeah.
He'll be on the unemployment line with old Dana White.
No, he won't be on the unemployment line. Vince McMahon's got more money. His what is it worth? $3 billion? The 28.84 million stock shares he has. I mean, this man is loaded, let alone the money he's got right now. So, I mean, Vince McMahon is fine. He can walk away today and be just sitting. He can walk away today and go buy Impact. He could go walk away today and buy any independent any independent organization out there today. He could leave and go away and buy a whole freaking island for all I care. I mean, he's got money to boot. So, the only scary part to me is if he leaves WWE. The only thing that's scary to me is he could leave WWE and go buy one of the independent scenes and make a whole new wrestling organization just because he thinks he can, wants to, and has connections. Now, there is one more theory that's out there that what is going to happen, and the only thing that could save Vince McMahon and keep him in power is this whole thing was a setup. That merging with TKO was to get him from out of under power and sell the company so they can say they can go down the line. Vince McMahon is trying to make the company less valuable. So when it goes to TKO and TV rights, that Endeavor decides, this isn't really worth it. We're going to sell it off. Vince McMahon buys it and runs away with WWE and takes it back private, and then nobody can say anything to him because he won't be a part of the Stock Exchange Commission or anything. It'd be a privately owned organization, and then Vince McMahon could do whatever he wants with it.
I guess we're gonna have to see what happens.
That was just another conspiracy theory-esque idea that is being thrown out there, is that maybe Vince is doing this. They compared it to somebody else who bought it. They had a company, they merged it with somebody else, and then they bought it back for $1. I forgot who they were comparing that to, but yeah. So there could be this idea that Vince McMahon is merging the company to get the company sold back to him in some form or another, where he could take it back private. That this whole play was to get out from under having shareholders, to get the federal government out of his back end, to get the Stock Exchange Commission, because then you don't have to report your monies and all that to a whole board and don't have all these other things. So then he can do all the dirty deeds he wants because it's private money.
No matter what the actual outcome winds up being, dirty deeds were not done dirt cheap.
You think maybe his wife is talking?
Linda's got a lot of her own stuff in there that I don't know. They've given her a lot of crap for being associated with Donald Trump when she was running her campaign, and then she was on. She was in Trump's people in the office. Linda's pretty much separated from Vince in the role of the wrestling. I don't think she's probably getting plenty of hush money. I don't know if she wants to ruin that. To me, it would either be a Triple H or a Nick Khan. I mean, Triple H is either trying to take out Vince for everything, or it's a Nick Khan who randomly showed up and all the stuff started happening. So I don't know. It's a wait and see. Lots of stuff, lots of news. Like I say, we're always working on news. Anywho, gentlemen, do you have any closing statements, arguments, debates, topics, concerns, endorsements? Lullaby and good night.
No, I got nothing. Just looking forward to getting back on here and seeing what happened in the week.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, then with that note, until the next episode. This has been the Value of Wrestling. This is Break It Down, where we get together and we break down different wrestling topics, different wrestling things, different wrestling news like we did tonight. We broke it down. We went over it all for you. We discussed it until I don't think we can discuss it anymore. We threw some other stuff in there. But ladies and gentlemen, this is the Value of Wrestling on the Big Time, along with Paulus, Clarke, Miguel Z. We will be back tomorrow night. No, not tomorrow night. Saturday night. Tomorrow's Friday.
Saturday.
Feels like it's Friday already. But we'll be back Saturday night with another weekly roundup where we're going to go over everything else that happened on TV in the wrestling world, what happened actually in the ring. We'll break that all down for you. That'll be on a weekly roundup. We're going to go over every show, every event. We still have SmackDown tomorrow night, Rampage, and Collision, so we'll have to see what comes out of that. Unfortunately, we're going to have to suffer through a 2-hour Rampage since it's a Grand Slam Rampage 2-hour special. Congratulations. More wrestling to digest. If you like Rampage, then, hey, more power to the people in that statement. But with that said, we need to get out of here, say goodnight, say goodbye. Let's walk it off real quick. All right.